light for you in dark places when all other lights go out.
Hey guys, this is DCHL Devin here.
This is DCHL Walker.
And welcome to another episode of A Light in the Dark. And for those of you who aren't following our channel or following for the first time, this is our question and answer segment where you guys post questions in the comment section below and we go ahead and give our expert advice, especially Walker, because this man knows everything. So
I just read the rule book, so that's why I know stuff.
Yeah, it seems to work a lot better than my method of just make stuff up and hope it's right. So we're going to go ahead and get right into the questions. We actually have a lot since we a little late on this episode. First one is from Mason O'Neill. He says that Frodo's, well, first off, he talks about Frodo, the most expensive models. We actually once talked in a segment about the most expensive model we've seen sold on eBay. And he talked about a model where Frodo's base had 2 footprints on it and sold for $450.
Yeah.
This is just a base with 2 footprints.
It's Invisible Frodo. It's a promo model, and I wish I had one so I could sell for $450 because that'd be awesome.
Honestly, you could probably cast that yourself. It's like kind of a ridiculous price. But he gets into his actual question here. He says, anyway, my question is, can a hero heroic march on the turn it enters the board in, say, Reconnoiter or Hold Ground? Thanks for all the great content, and it's always good listening while painting. All right, so.
I like painting. It's good stuff.
Well, what do you think?
So you can't, unfortunately, because he is not on the board at the beginning of the turn when you would call the heroic action. That's why you can't. You can't do it.
Yeah. So. And, I mean, essentially, this is, if you say yes to that question, then it begs the question of a lot of other things, like can Floyd negate abilities even though he's not on the field, and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, until they're actually on the field, which they don't arrive until after the turn has already started, which means heroic action phases have already been declared.
Right.
There's really nothing you can do.
Yep. Sorry.
So, Sai says, hey guys, Dikey's here once again to bother you. Never mind that. we always welcome you. He's thinking about Floyd and the Will of Evil rule that we discussed in a previous video. And he says there may be one case where the ability might actually work, and it's really against the Undying. The Undying has the ability to use Fate as Will. So by nullifying it, you shouldn't be able to use Fate Point. Is that plausible? And he actually has a second question. I'll just go ahead and read it real quick before we answer. He says he wants to know what we think of Gandalf the White. He thinks he's useless. He's not that bad, but extremely expensive for what he can actually do. He cannot lead troops, and for the same point cost, you could get a full-powered Witch King on Fell Beast equipped with a crown. I still think the Saruman the Wise, 50 points less, is a far better pick for offensive magic.
Well, you can't really compare Gandalf the White to a Witch King on Fell Beast.
Yeah, I mean, it's two different armies.
Yeah, 2 different armies.
Yeah.
So it's like
that's actually important though, because I mean, pretty much the what you can pick.
You can compare Gandalf the White to like Aragorn.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, proper comparisons have to be made within good. It's really important to make that comparison, and the reason why is because, like, for instance, evil never can regenerate wounds, and they really can never get their will, right? Well, there's a lot of abilities that if you had the ability to give will out in evil armies, then it'd be insane. And so that same model thrown into good, though, suddenly is like, no, all right, that's kind of interesting. So
we're getting off on a tangent, though.
Yeah, I can't compare it. But let's go ahead and answer his first question. Can you nullify the ability to use Fate as will? And actually, yeah, you can, but they're 2 separate rules. I don't know if you guys know that. They should be too. One is called Eternal Power, or something like that. That allows him to use his Fate as will.
Right.
The other one, the Will of Evil, just simply says that, like, he keeps burning will as he gets in combats, and when he runs out of will, he dies. So technically, you're like saving his life. What we were saying was that you can't take away their might, will, and fate by nullifying that rule, because it's already been given to them.
Yeah, we're talking about the variable points cost for the ring race, not their abilities. The dwarf still can take away those different abilities if he chooses to. He just can't take away the points cost, number of will, might or fate they would have. So, yeah, but yes, that would work.
Yeah.
To answer your question. Mm-hmm.
So,
which is awesome.
yeah, killing the Undying with Floy would be amazing because he's otherwise impossible. So the next one is about Gandalf the White. What do we think of him?
I honestly, so I've never played with Gandalf in any of my games personally, but I fought against Gandalf a number of times, and it's usually Gandalf the Grey. So,
Yeah.
and if I do see a white wizard on the field, it's usually Saruman the White, the good one.
And
So-
you know, I gotta agree with you, especially with the new Saruman that just came out. I mean,
Yeah.
the new one just
The White
way outdoes Gandalf the White.
Yeah.
I mean, there's almost no contest there. They both got the 12-inch stand fast. Gandalf the White is slightly physically stronger in close combat due to Glamdring, but other than that, I mean, he's got Staff is Broken, which
Yeah.
I guess makes him anti-wizard.
If you're going up against Ringwraiths, that would work really good. The staff is broken.
Why? None of the...
No, they don't have staffs.
They don't have staffs. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah. So it really only works against those 3 wizards. Or any model that happens to have a staff, but generally, if they're not a wizard, you don't care.
The shamans have staffs.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like, you can break that stuff.
You can break their staffs. Or, you know, or if you're going up against the Goblin King, you need that one attack to kill him. Because you can't regenerate the save.
Yeah, I mean, the only real reason to pick Gandalf the White is the fact that he has strength and will. Other than that, but I mean, that's just not enough to justify the massive amount of point cost. So yeah, I would agree with you that he's not powerful enough. I think if he had maybe a couple versions of offensive magic, say the lightning he used on Zurich Sigil. Remember against the Balrog in the movie?
Yeah.
Fired like lightning at him? Or the Starry Light?
Or the Duracell flashlight on the field.
The Duracell flashlight. So,
I watch that every time and I'm like, this is a perfect Duracell commercial. Gandalf's riding out and he has his flashlight on. It's like, get rid of evil. Duracell.
yeah, I agree with you. I've never seen anyone play this dude. So, but definitely thanks for the question, Daiki. So, next question we have is from LOTR SBG Battles. And it says, question for you guys. Can a model with a special ability still use it if they're in base combat in the movement phase? For example, Thranduil's Nature's Wrath. I understand that you cannot cast if you are in base contact, but technically he's not casting a spell, it's just one of his abilities. Or the Spectre's ability of Fell Light. Yeah, this is a pretty easy answer, actually. Well, not to sound, yeah, it sounds condescending, I apologize. But no. You can't use abilities if they can't move. No abilities. So like Floyd, as we mentioned earlier,
Yeah,
if you're
you
in
can't
combat,
use
unless the ability is related to combat itself, you can't use any ability. I can't think of really any.
I don't know. I'd have to think about it
Yeah,
for a
like
while.
I mean, other than like
I'm sure there's like 1 or 2. But
if you have to trigger it or activate it, I should say, it can't be used if you're in combat. It completely negates it. So, yeah, absolutely. Thranduil's Nature's Wrath even included. You cannot use it. Even though you're just using an ability, not casting a spell, you're still activating an ability, which requires you to move. And you can't.
sadly, yes.
So, all right, next question we got from Torin TLA. He says, hey guys, thanks for the content. My question is, regarding the Spectre ruling where you can dismount models, lie down, etc. with Fell Light is in them rule, can you do the same with the Wood Elf Sentinel Enchanting Song? Thanks. So you know what he's talking about?
Yep. I have one else, remember?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Jeez.
Yeah, you guys
I play my little Lorian elves. I have 3. Sentinels. They're awesome.
For those of you who don't know what he's talking about, Wood Elves have actually the same ability as the Wood Elf Sentinel has the same ability as the Spectres to be able to move models. We discussed this in a previous video where you can make models lie down, get off their horses, all kinds of stuff, making them semi-broken. So
They just can't enter combat on their ability, and they cannot be put in harm's way. So you can't make them like, I don't know, jump off a cliff or something like that.
yeah, I mean, short answer, yes. This may be, and I will warn you guys now, may be the only house rule we have at Nova, because it just really makes the game unfun. Or even Historicon or almost any DCHL tournament, it really drags the game. When you're like just, I don't know, this is not official yet, but what do you think about that?
For what? You didn't say what you're
The
going to do.
Spectre, sorry, the Spectre's ability to make someone lie down and dismount.
Okay.
You don't care?
I mean,
We don't know.
technically that's the way it reads. So
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, it's fine. But I don't see how it's going to slow down the game. That's only like 1 or 2 models. Most I've seen anybody play with was 5 Spectres, and that was
I've seen
ridiculous.
12 and 24 of them play.
Man, if they have that many and like.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points. I'm like, go for it, dude. There's no way you're gonna stop my horde of guys.
Yeah.
Good job. Send away 6 or 7 of them. I'm fine with that.
It may not be a problem. We're not going to really try. We're trying our best not to ban anything in tournaments, and because for the most part, this game is actually extremely balanced. So may not. I just kind of warned it out there. I don't know yet, but I guess if the community's all like, "Hey, nah, don't worry about it. We'll see what happens," then okay. It's not really as crazy. There's a limit to it because you have to pass a courage test to stop it. So
Yep.
it's pretty easy to get around it in that respect. Courage tests are pretty easy to pass in this game.
Unless you're evil,
Yeah.
goblins with the courage of 2.
Yeah, and even then, most of them have fury.
But then you don't care because you have like, you make the one goblin run away, right? But there's like 11 of his buddies right there that are still charging you. So, yeah. I'm fine with it. I don't see any need to like restrict it or say, hey, you cannot do something that's in the rules. No, that doesn't make any sense.
But as far as the question, though, yes,
Yeah.
Sentinels can.
They do the exact same thing.
All right, next comes from Dead Marsh Spectre. He says, "Cheers, guys. It was a pleasure painting for you." So, yeah, it's not really a question, just a comment.
He did the
Yep, the
Necromancer.
And for those of you guys who don't know, he did an amazing sculpt. You guys will see it on the screen here now. It's a beautiful, like not a sculpt, he painted it for us though. But he did sculpt the basing he's on. You see the basing is like extremely elaborate. This model you will see in Mordor's Arena, which is one of the game types that we have at Nova Open. So he's kind of the one, I guess, summoning all the things that attack you. If you guys don't know, Mordor's Arena is like a wave mode. Horde mode, almost for Lord of the Rings. Something you guys have never seen before, I almost guarantee it.
It's really fun, actually. I got to play the evil side, so I just kept throwing bad guys into you and watched Legolas run around the board like a little dancing elf, and it was intense. There were trolls everywhere. It's
an absolute freaking nightmare, but just
really
tons
cool.
of fun.
But back to the Necromancer. That thing is cool.
Yes.
It is beautiful. It's going to be an awesome piece.
Mm.
And yeah.
For any of you guys who don't know his work, check out his website. It's amazing.
It is really good. Thanks so much for it.
Oh, yeah. All right, so next question. We're going to go to Patrick Biermeyer. He says, hey guys, a couple of videos ago you were talking about map-based campaign rules, guidelines for 40K, maybe fantasy. Anyway, he was wondering if he knew where to get those rules. I think a version of that for SBG would be awesome. And before we continue, he says a second question. He says, how do you guys play the Woodland creature rule? I feel like there are a lot of ways to play it depending on the terrain you have. Just curious on how your group plays the rules. All right, so...
So what's the Woodland creature rule, Devin?
Well, let's start on this first question.
Oh, okay, we're starting with the first one.
Because he's talking about map-based campaigns. There actually is one that exists on my website. It's if you go to the fan-made articles section of the document section on my website, there is actually literally, I forgot what it's called.
Should put the link.
Yeah, we'll put a link in the comments, in the description below for map-based campaigns. Someone already made one. Now, keep in mind, we don't sponsor them, we don't know them, or anything like that, so we can't tell you how great they are, but you can certainly look at it. I mean, it seems like he put a lot of effort into it. I mean, it's a pretty well done PDF. So definitely check that out if you guys really want to see some map-based campaign ideas.
Yep.
So second question.
And as far as for using the 40K or fantasy ones, those are easily just picked up at your Games Workshop or your hobby store. Even War Machine has their own map-based campaign stuff.
I think almost every game includes one.
You can just go pick up one of those supplement books that's specifically for that, and then you could just read through it, modify things so it would work with the Lord of the Rings system, and then you'll be all set, man.
All right. So I'm going to ask you, what's Woodland Creature Rule?
No, I asked you first.
So, for those of you guys who don't know, woodland creature means you win the game.
What? That's an awesome interpretation. I'm totally playing my Lothlorien from now on. I win the game. I put them out. No, it's basically you treat forest as open ground, moving through them.
Yes.
So the way we play this in our group is we have the Games Workshop forests that have the area, and that's difficult terrain. That's how we use that. However, if we set some trees up, sometimes we do just the trees by themselves. They don't have any difficult terrain around. The trees are just blocking line of sight. That's how we do it. So the area terrain is what's difficult terrain, and so the woodland creatures would be able to move through it without any penalty.
I think he's also talking about maybe strategies. Like, as far as tactics, like, how do we actually play woodland creature? I mean, the tactic is pretty much simple. I mean, as far as I would just stick around, obviously, forests, where your opponent kind of gets bottlenecked. You move extremely fast through them. It kind of works as an anti-cav thing, too, because they move it a fourth. Yeah, quarter. A lot of people believe
and they don't get their charge bonus.
Yeah, read your rule book. It's a cavalry move at a fourth of their speed, not half their speed. So, yeah, definitely anti-cav. I mean, it's a surprise maneuver. You really want to stay around the trees. Luckily, the armies that have woodland creature generally tend to be elves shooting armies that can bring the fight to them.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't think of them this way, but Gondor really does woodland creature really well.
They have woodland creatures?
Yeah, they can get it.
Oh yeah, the scouts, right?
Not even just their scouts, it's the Athelian Rangers and the Gondorian Warriors. Yeah, a lot of people are shocked. If you want to really shock your opponent, pick Gondorian Warriors with the woodland creature upgrade, and you'll have like tons of just woodland creature. It's weird because you got these like full armored dudes like just traveling through the woods, no problem. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know how else you would use it. Like that's pretty much it.
Pretty much it.
Just, I mean, it's pretty much the most obvious way you'd imagine. If you want more clarification on that, just let us know.
Yeah.
So, all right. So the next one actually comes from the GBHL podcast. He says, he says, hey guys, I've been enjoying the GBHL banter for the last few vids. Looking forward to putting you guys in your place this coming September. And so he said he's wondering what you had in mind for the bat reps. I don't know about you guys, but I hate playing competitive games on videos. I think they're fairly dull to watch and less enjoyable than some of the weirder scenarios or armies. I'd be quite up for discussing some armies that we use in the bat reps in advance to come up with some bat reps, some cool matchups, and perhaps playing those armies that we don't get to normally see on each other's channels. We could have some major filthy beatdowns for the grand tournament where they belong.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Very much looking forward to the week either way. Should be top fun. Damien. So that probably was a message just intended for just us. But to be honest, the reason I bring this actually to everyone's attention is I want to know what you guys think. We actually kind of like the idea. We like it where, we were going to do the bat reps as kind of competitive at first. And just to kind of give it that
I never thought we were going to do them competitive.
They were actually intended. That when the idea was first brought up in our chat, when we came up with the idea to get them down here, stuff like that. Us and the GBHL, me specifically, talked to them, and that was the original plan. But we're actually thinking about something different. We're actually thinking about some really cool bat reps, some real fun ones. Just to throw out some ideas. These are not like in any way official, but we talked about Hunter Orcs versus Airboar. It's going to be the old Airboar that you guys see in the magazines, or I believe that you guys see in the magazines for the SBG, and that would be actually against Walker. And then we thought about Lake Town versus who was it? The Hunter Orcs, I want to say. Not you though. It's Lake Town.
GBHL.
Yeah, GBHL's version of Hunter Orcs. And then I thought about, Hobbits, we threw them out there, and Arnor was thrown out there, and just all the armies, you don't typically see. We're just going to have some fun stuff.
So I agree with you. We should throw this out to our audiences, and GBHL, throw this out to your guys too, and ask them what kind of bat reps they would love to see. If it's a specific scenario, like Gandalf versus Balrog or something crazy like that, that's the...
Well, no, that'd be boring. They had to make a scenario specifically for that, because Gandalf would just get owned by the Balrog.
True,
But,
technically with the rules. But if a particular battle through the movies or two particular armies fighting each other, where we still get to write up our own lists, but we all have our own styles of play and everything like that. It'd be really cool.
And we will be using the boards that the DCHL has. As you guys know, we have Pelennor Fields, Arnor, Dead Marshes,
Goblin
Lake
Town.
Goblin Town. Yeah, we will be using these boards for the batreps, so you guys will see those. And we may even have some new ones from now till then. So, we absolutely agree. We're thinking about fun ones.
Let us know in the comments below.
So, next question is from Akathon39.
Hey, what's up, Backathon?
And he says,
I like this guy.
sorry for not posting a question last time. He's been held back, but he's back for now. He's back now. And just to comment on that, we haven't been posting videos for a little bit, so we're back now too.
It hasn't been that long.
It's been like a week. We're starving our fans.
It's been 5 days.
Said, could you give me like the average amount of heroes, might, and models for 300, 400, 500, 600, 700 points, and any other important size that you should be covered? Thanks. Yeah, that's actually a little bit more of a complicated question than you might believe, because it really, really depends on your force.
Yeah, it depends on which type of warband you're doing and stuff. Because evil tends to have less might than good guys, typically.
Yeah.
Good guys tend to use, most of their heroes and characters all have 3 might, especially the named ones, whereas evil doesn't. Their named characters have 3 might as well, but it just depends. It's just weird. On average, I would say I look to try it. My armies typically have between.
I do at least 1 per 100 points, maybe.
10. I do 10 to 13 might in my armies at 700 points. At 700 points, 10 to 13 might at 700 points. And this is my hunter orcs and my goblin town goblins.
If you want like kind of a minimum, I'd say 1 per 100. I've seen that, like whenever I review a list, I'm like, oh, okay, you have 7 points of might and 700 points. That's minimum. I'm like saying the minimum amount. So in 300, 3 points of might. I'd say minimum. Your chances are you're gonna have more than that, because even in 300 you get 2 warbands, and generally every hero has 2 points of might, so you'd have like 4, so you'd be fine. Even at 700, you're gonna have quite a bit of might.
Well, if you take like shamans and things, they have 1.
Yeah.
Some heroes have 0, depending on what you take.
It really depends on how maneuverable you want to be. Because the problem is every single. So, like. I mean, a lot of it, you're going to be spent. It's so dependent on your army. Your cavalry armies are going to want more of it so they can keep it up. But if you have gambling in your army, then you don't really care as much. If you have Alfred in your army, you don't care as much. Let's say that your army is designed to hold the line while your heroes heroic fight all over the place. Well, then, once again, you don't need as much. If your army has a lot of courage or a ton of abilities to pass courage, you don't need as much. Why? Because when you break, you don't care to pass the heroic move because you know your men can survive.
Right, like elves, they stay around.
Yeah, so, I mean, then you don't need as much.
Or you have a big stand fast with your main hero,
Yeah.
12-inch range, so.
And you need more if charging is important to you. If you're a glass cannon, like say you're playing a spider army, then more is better. Because you need the ability to get out of there. I mean, it's really variable. But yeah, I guess that's. If you really, really want a detailed answer, I mean, just kind of give us more.
What army you playing?
What armies? Yeah, so like 700, 800 for the dwarves or whatever. So, all right then. We'll go ahead and move on to our next question from Stephen Gill. He says, thank you for answering my last questions. My next question is on using Saruman in an Isengard list. Is it better to use him like a big stick, but if you end up committing him, you will end up losing the voice of Saruman? I'm just not familiar with using Wizard, and he seems to be a big point sink. Is he worth having in, say, a 700-point list? What do you think? Have you played Saruman?
I played against him.
Yeah, against him.
Yeah.
Alright.
I think he's worth it.
Yeah, he is. It's 700 points.
He controls the battlefield, and that's
Yes.
the big point of any wizard is they're controlling the battlefield. So he'll get on the side and wizard blast and knock on tons of people down, making it so your Urukai can just have free reign and just beat the living tar out of the guys on foot or that are knocked down. Knocking cavalry off their horses, that's huge. Oh my God, is that a pain in the butt? here you are thinking you're going to charge and get Saruman, you're like, yay! And then all of a sudden you're flying backwards and you knocked all the rest of your horses down as well, and they're all running all over the place, and it's just, you've lost like a huge unit that's meant to do this battle shock, and they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. You're like, no! Umder, how could you fail me?
I mean, even beyond the Sorcerer's Blast, as you said, there's actually 2 other things that you really, really need. It's 700 points. Remember, 700 points is when you're going to face a lot of big sticks yourself. And so you need something to stop them. And immobilize and compel are absolutely useful tools to stop those problems. I mean, yeah, sure, they resist for the first couple turns, but after that, they're constantly getting punished. And then the second thing that you're forgetting about Saruman, a lot of people compare Saruman to the other Saruman on the good side. Obviously, magically, the good side Saruman is superior. There's no contest. But the good side loses out on an option that the evil side gains. And it's not really the Palantir. The Palantir is cool, but it's really Grima. You really should boost Saruman to like 200 points, and Grima is a freaking nightmare. I mean, he is absolutely a nightmare for 700 point lists.
Everything costs double the amount of might to use, and it just saps any army of its will or might real fast. So
keep in mind what this means is that a hero with 3 points of might now has 1. Now I know it just sounds weird. Walker just said double, but yeah, by the time you use your second might, you now need 4 to use it. And how many heroes did you know use 4 points of might? Have 4 points of might?
Most of them only have 3.
Yeah.
So your basic captains, which typically have 2, and your most of your named characters that have 3. Even your heroes that get 1 point of might for free per turn have to spend one of their own reserve just to do their abilities and things like that. It's such a pain in the butt, and you can't kill him.
Yes.
I
mean, well, you can kill him.
There's a way.
There are ways you can cheese ball your way into killing him. But for the most part, though, most armies won't have an opportunity. And so that is really one of the big reasons you pick Saruman. And then the second is the one Walker said. It's cavalry elimination. It's phalanx elimination. It's, big hero stopping. Yeah, he's pretty worth it.
He's powerful.
So he does the job.
It takes a while to get used to him, though.
Yeah.
You have to play a whole bunch of games so that way you know which spell to use when, what characters to lock down. The big fighters, immobilizing them in combat is essential. Because then all of a sudden your middle line that would normally break to say like Balg, all of a sudden doesn't because Balg can't fight back. and your regular warriors are waiting.
You're going to love that. When you have a big hero, a big problem, and you're just like, nah, you can stop moving now. Like, it's beautiful.
Yep. You're like, you're done.
So, that actually is going to be the last of our questions for this video. Because of our latency, we actually have a couple more. We're going to go ahead and post them next video, and you guys can also add to that list. And other than that, do you have anything more for him, Walker?
No.
All right, then definitely stay tuned for us. Actually, we will have another How to Play video up this week. I actually have it filmed and I've edited. I'm just sort of getting it up. In fact, you might see it even tonight, along with this video. And hopefully you guys join us next time.
Later, guys.
Thanks for watching.